With controversial figure Alex Jones being let back on X, leaving many journalists very unhappy, the topic of conspiracy theories is on everyone's minds. So I'm sitting here with Professor Daniel D. Weasel, whom I will posit the question, is it ever okay to engage with conspiracy theories? And if so, what are the potential dangers?
You know, conspiracy theories can be dangerous, but they can also be a lot of fun. But where people might get into trouble is engaging with conspiracy theories that are off limits, when there are plenty of conspiracy theories that you can have a bundle of fun with without crossing that line into unacceptable territory.
Okay.
Whether that be Bigfoot, aliens, Russia collusion, or New England Patriots ball deflation.
Fun.
You don't need to start researching the military-industrial complex and Big Pharma in order to have a great time enjoying conspiracies.
So you're saying it's not about abandoning conspiracy theories altogether, but rather enjoying conspiracy theories responsibly in order to get your fix.
Precisely. You don't need false flags and election interference to have a blast enjoying conspiracies, especially when there are so many safe and gratifying conspiracy theories, from the Loch Ness Monster to the movie Shazam, or even Who Shot JFK.
Now, you just mentioned JFK, but that was once a conspiracy theory that was somewhat tumultuous to talk about.
Well, it is a moving target, which is why my personal rule of thumb is if they've made a Netflix doc with a purpose other than to debunk, you are generally good to go.
Smart.
Because yes, bringing up pedophile rings or Epstein 10 years ago would be a potential red flag, but as it's gotten into mainstream culture, it's now something that you can engage with, as long as you don't dig too deep.
Now, how would you respond to critics who say that once a conspiracy theory becomes accepted, it becomes less fun or interesting?
I can only speak for myself, but if you don't find looking at Wikipedia articles about the Malaysian airline or the death of Brandon Lee fun, then maybe you're just not a real conspiracy guy.
Shots fired.
And listen, if you really do feel the need to charter into untested waters, I recommend once prohibited conspiracy theories that have now been proven true.
All of the intrigue, none of the uncertainty.
Correct. Big Tobacco knowing cigarettes cause cancer, MK Ultra, the CIA's involvement in past crime syndicates.
So you're saying as long as you avoid looking into the crime syndicates the CIA is currently involved with, you should be A-okay.
Ethical conspiracy consumption. Stay away from the WEF, but don't hesitate to engage with the WWE conspiracy that Vince McMahon faked a broken neck.
Very enthralling. Mr. Weasel, thank you for your time.
It's actually pronounced weasel.
The boys.
It's the Boyscast.
The lads.
It's the Boyscast.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for Boyscast.
The bros.
It's the Boyscast.
The homies.
It's the Boyscast.
The dudes.
Experience the Boyscast.
The boys. Cast.
Goys. Because everyone's mad at Jews and Muslims now.
Yeah.
The Goys are back in town. How does that make you feel that the Goys are fucking having a moment back in the sun?
Boys are always doing good.
No, the Goys are always doing good.
Don't let them fool you.
Look at you. You're doing good. Look at all that money you got. Oh, good for you.
Now time to raise interest rates.
The Goys are back right now.
Yeah,
they're getting let off on Twitter and stuff like that. But I just got back from a tour, and the one thing I want to say is Denver. Every person in Denver has the Denver outfit.
What's that? Like the wood?
The wood jacket. The Bluntstone boots.
Yeah.
Tight,
The hipster.
They all good-looking bunch of guys. I'll tell you that.
Beards.
Every guy. It was like what you would look like, but maybe a tiny bit skinnier. Yeah. Because they do a lot of hiking.
A lot of hiking. Yeah.
But
if I was more of an outdoors.
It's just interesting. It's probably the first place I've ever been where every single person looks like they'd be on if you typed in Google image search like Denver man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It was like at one point I was doing I do pictures of people after, and it was like a line of 20 people, and they all had the jacket on. And I was commenting on it. Every single guy had the Denver jacket on.
That's funny.
And so I was talking to like different fans and stuff like that, and there's a couple of things I wanted to give a shout out to the fellas. The first one, listen to this article. I don't know, you don't know this, I don't think. Maybe actually you might. I might have sent it to you. Horrific moment. Holiday bell ringer for Salvation Army is attacked in Florida parking lot by robber attempting to steal her car before Good Samaritan jumps in to save her. Guess who that Samaritan was?
One of the boys.
He's on the Patreon.
Really?
He sent me the thing. He goes, "Hey, Daniel Penny, this guy this week tried to carjack an old lady and I was listening to the Boyscast on my AirPods the whole time while I was shopping. So he said maybe the testosterone residuals is why I beat this guy bloody. Anyways, a lot of news outlets picked it up, and he sent me the article and stuff. And then I didn't.
He fucked up the guy's face. I saw a photo.
Right. So I did send it to you. Yeah. And I messaged him, and I was kind of like, is this real? Or are you just kind of like messing around? And he was like, no, honestly. And he goes, my AirPods never even came out. I was fucking listening to the cast the entire
Just
time.
tuning them up.
That's what happens. You listen to Boyscast, you're good Samaritans?
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, the guy tried to rob like a Salvation Army money collector.
Isn't that wild? He says
up.
he's meeting with the DA tomorrow, though.
Good.
So
Drop all charges.
drop all charges. Good luck with the legal proceedings.
Thankfully, it seems like this was a white-on-white crime, so we should be good.
So lucky. Yeah. Woo! We don't. Boyscast doesn't want to be involved if there's a racial component. That's how you get into trouble for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Another thing is, I was telling you that I can't remember things, and I've been trying to remember my charge my toothbrush. Yeah. Like, for example, it just sits in my thing, and every time in the shower, I make a note of it, and then every time I get back in the shower and I never did it. Yeah. Someone sent me a message on Patreon saying, hey, Ryan, charge your toothbrush. And then I legitimately went and walked into I was in my living room. Yeah. I was going through the Patreon message. It said, charge your toothbrush. And I go, fuck, I walked in the living room and charged it.
So we figured out a system, everybody.
Yes, I figured out a system. Someone helped it out. And then also someone made us a Christmas ornament of Terrence and Phillip.
Hell yeah. That's
Ryan and Danny, but I'm going to put it on there, but I forgot it right tonight.
And I'm Jewish. I don't have a tree.
Oh, yeah, but
you can put it on your tree.
They don't give a shit. Yeah. Danny, actually, I'm not young and I'm not Republican. New Kids on the Block. I'm not new, and we're not kids.
Banger of a weekend.
Danny he was hanging out with George Santos, and they're like boys
and
now.
Bober. Now I don't know about boys, but we went to this the young Republicans gala after party, which the guy who invited me, this kid Luke, he was sending me photos because Trump was like the keynote speaker, or whatever. Alex Stein was the MC, and then Trump did an hour and a half. He was supposed to do 30 minutes, and then Trump was like, cut the...
Trump was blowing the light?
Oh, big time. And
they were trying to get him off the stage?
Dude, he was literally like, cut the teleprompter or whatever. I'm going off prompter. And then he just went and was talking shit for like an hour. And I talked to some people there, because like a lot of people at the after party...
He goes off the dome, eh?
I think... to a degree, but also it's like comedy. You know, he does
he's doing his hour.
He's doing his hour campaign event, and he's doing it nonstop. And you know, he's in New York, so he probably has all his enemies who he's just shitting on. And he was calling. He had all these like. I can't remember what they were, but like, because it was in the news, because he kept saying that he wants to be, he's like, they wanted to say I'm a dictator. He's like, no, I just want to be a dictator for a day, to my first day of being president again. I'm going to be a dictator to like, you know,
that must have blew people's
pass his stuff or whatever.
Brains out.
And then he was like shitting on Joe Biden and, you know,
whatever, but I think I didn't.
Whatever. But
I'm more interested in this.
A lot, and a lot of people I talked to were like,
there was an article that he bought the drinks for everyone at the bar.
What?
Yeah, there was an article that came out that said George Santos went to a party this weekend and he bought the drinks for everyone at the bar.
I'm pretty sure I paid for my drinks.
Well, that's the narrative.
More lies from no.
That's what the media is saying.
Really? I wonder who was there.
Buddy,
dude, okay, so
someone sent me that.
So I was at the after party, and then this guy was essentially like, hey, we're at another thing. It was, you know, Upper East Side.
The only one is we used to say they were the lying New York Post. Now they're the honest New York Post.
Yeah, they gave us a shout out.
The New York Post.
Trashing SNL.
They always say stuff about us, but they did a whole bit about how SNL's skit was like really bad, and they said that it was like Shane Gillis, us, and Tim Dillon were like what good comedy is or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the honest New York Post. They are no longer the lying New York Post. They're this is the honest New York Post.
Sorry, yeah, this in George Santos earns so much cameo. Yeah, he picks up tab for political pals while hanging. Yeah, this is what I was at. There was like 15 of us in this bar.
So you didn't
like it wasn't not for George Santos.
That's all. So the lying media. What said it?
What? This is at page 6.
Page 6 is lying.
Page 6 is lying. So yeah, I was at this. It was Bobert. This guy owns this cafe. And then Beach Cafe, and then this guy Byron Donald, who's like a congressman from Florida.
Okay, so what were you and Santos talking about?
Just
what positions you like to get fucked?
I don't know. We're just like shooting the shit. I was trying to get him on the
What kind of drag?
Trying to get him on the podcast, and he's just like, yeah. He's like, I'll do your podcast. But he kept saying his whole thing is he's like, I got so many cameos to get through. That was his big thing. He's like, I got so many cameos to get through. He's like, I have a backlog of 700 cameos or something. He's like, I did like so many.
He sort of brushed you off because he sent you to his podcast guy, and the guy quoted Danny 5G.
Well, he said you do, he said you do the. He's like, I'll do the podcast or whatever. And I have his number. Like I was texting him yesterday, and he goes, hey, like, can
you do dick pics back and forth.
Yeah. And then he goes, can you go through my my podcast booker because he's really in demand right now. And then the podcast booker texted me this morning. He's like, yeah, so he'll do it. It's $5,000, 2 hours. But
Santos makes money. The one thing about America,
all he was talking about was the cameos. Yeah,
I was kind of thinking about this with America is that if you get like really famous for something bad, like if you become like this huge news story, you always get rich at the end of that fucking rainbow.
Yeah. So he has he was literally like, he's like, I make more in Cameo than
so he's really flexing his money at the party.
No, legitimately. I mean, he didn't buy my drinks, but he was saying, he's like, I make more Cameo than I in a week than I made my whole congressional salary in a year. But I'm also like, this is pretty short-sighted of you, George.
Also, the salary for Congress people is not where they make their money either. I don't know, little fucking inside baseball here, but that's not how the Congress people make their money either.
What's a Congress salary? I think it's like probably close to 150 G's.
Okay, but that's not how they make their money. They make their money.
Not bad.
They make their money, doing speeches for big oil.
Yeah, exactly. We'll become lobbyists once they quit or whatever. But we were out to like 4:30 in the morning, and then he was on some news show at like 9 in the morning.
Did he say like, oh no, you just get this place back to my place, and then maybe slips a little something in your drink?
No.
Whatever happened. No. Whatever happens.
And Lauren Boebert was ripping around. It was a weird.
Did you talk to her?
Yeah, I talked to her a bunch. Yeah.
What did she?
Because I did a podcast with her with Gino.
Oh right, you guys know each other. So
yeah, so I was like, hey,
you have a threesome with Boebert and Santos. You and Santos plowing Boebert, but Santos isn't allowed to touch you.
Yeah, he's crying the whole time. He's like, it's so yucky, but he paid my fee. I have to do it.
A fee is a fee is a fee. That does seem like not out of the ordinary. That is, the manager would be like, he'll do your podcast next for $50K, jacks you off. That guy's making money though.
Yeah.
Well, he's on my bad books for asking for $5,000 for the podcast.
$5,000 for he's the first person to ever ask for
Snoop
money.
Dogg now.
Yeah. But he was saying that was another thing because I was like, you want to do the pod? He's like, I'm going to do Z-Way, which is that black chick or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're doing a pay-per-view. We're splitting the money, and it's already at $1 million. But again, I don't know.
He's a pathological liar.
So I'm like, I don't know.
That is, it's hard to know what's true with that guy, right?
Exactly. So, but anyways.
The fact that you were sort of hyped on it too. You were sending me pictures.
Yeah, I was like, shit. Well, I was like, should I try and get him on the pod?
Did you get a picture with him?
No.
Why not?
I should have. I don't know.
Santos pictures.
I'm not a big
not a big picture guy. You felt like your makeup was a little runny that day.
No, I maybe should have. Maybe afterwards I was like, I should have got a picture, but I was like,
in the moment you didn't want to ruin the fun. You were having such a blast with them.
Yeah,
singing
such a
songs
small
together.
Little gathering too. Like there weren't that many people there.
You had your arm around him singing Rocket Man at the top of your lungs.
Yeah.
Singing the Irish jigs.
There was actually something where I tried to make some joke, and then he thought I was gay. He goes, "Are you gay?" He asked me that at one point because I made some joke about because there were these gay.
That's funny. Santos calling you gay. That's
I know.
Rich.
There was a bunch of gay Republicans there, and then one of them said something. They were like a couple.
There's so many gay Republicans.
I know. And then they were there, and then so one of them said something, and then I can't even remember what I said, but I made some joke. He's like, "Wait, are you gay?" And I'm like, "No." I'm just like, my fiance's beside me, and he goes, "Oh, okay." I don't know. I don't remember, but it was a good time.
So what happened after the gay thing? You just sort of left it at that, went back to partying?
Talked about something
Put
else.
your arm around him, sung
like,
We Are the Champions?
It's like, are you gay? No. And the music comes back on.
Was it your ordered? Was it something you ordered?
No, but someone ordered a bunch of Popeye's chicken at the end of the night.
Okay.
Hilarious. Just like all this chicken showed up.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't have any, but
also we don't need George Santos' money because our Patreon's 40 away from our Bugman.
Yeah,
it
Bugman.
is. The eating competition.
Oh man, we went to the game last night and you had a dog, and I was like really feeling I should have had a dog.
Dogs are
I actually
sick, dude.
left the game and
we went to the Rangers Leafs one.
Yeah, at least one big win, and I was actually like, that was because I had dinner plans after, and then I was like, I still should have had a dog. I was like,
I also had dinner plans, dude, and I didn't fucking matter, dude.
Yeah, I know. I was kicking myself.
I'd rather eat twice or not eat at all. The dog's happening.
Yep. I regret it. I honestly regret it.
Okay, so one thing that the big news was the Alex Jones thing. They did a poll, and then Elon Musk basically asked people, and everyone agreed that he should be back on, and then he got back on.
Just put everybody
right?
back on at this
Which
point.
is a huge win. Harvard activist, the Harvard speech activist must be very thrilled with their newfound love of free speech.
Love free speech. They love them some good free speech.
There's nothing the Harvard fucking professors in the university, because they basically said their whole thing where they said, we want to have the you're allowed to say genocide's good because of free speech or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like they've been back in the day, they were sort of saying microaggressions are bad, like any speech is hate speech. But now they've turned a new leaf and they're free speech guys. Do you think they were celebrating the Alex Jones win?
I don't know.
Free speech guys as they are.
Have you seen this? I didn't send this to you. This is the power and control wheel.
What the fuck?
So this is a Title IX thing that you like. Essentially, everybody who goes to Harvard has to like get sent this thing, and it's the power and control wheel.
What the hell?
And it says that around the edge of the power and control wheel, you'll notice attitudes, beliefs, and systems like racism, sexism, misogyny, ableism, transphobia, and xenophobia. And then the inside of it's like a pizza. And then it has all these other things inside of it: verbal abuse, cultural identity. There's like sizeism on the outside, fat phobia.
Sizeism.
Fat phobia. Tell me what you think this means, okay? Because there was one on here where I couldn't.
Sizeism.
You're being sizist right now. And what do you think?
Every time a girl takes Danny's pants off, she's being sizist.
But this is like a mandatory thing. This is I think all
You
like
think Santos was sizist?
freshmen have to size queen.
So freshmen have to go through the power wheel?
They got to do the power and control wheel. But one of these things is cis heterosexism. I don't even know what that means.
I think that's
That just means like
got to be if you have sexism for people, like you don't want to.
If you're just like
you don't want to suck a girl's wiener.
Yeah,
It's got to be that.
That's transphobia though. That's also on the wheel.
Our buddy actually, on the topic of colleges, so we have a buddy. Balaji actually posted this too. It was so funny because the Larry Summers guy.
Yeah.
He basically got fired because he was trying to write an article or whatever they call them, dissertations, whatever university people call their articles.
Yeah.
They write an article saying that men and women are different.
Oh,
and he
sure.
basically was saying the biological difference between men and women and why men do one thing and women do another thing or whatever. And then he basically got ran out of town for this article, right?
Okay.
And then a buddy of ours who was actually in college, he used to work with me a bit. We won't out him, but he sent me this, and he was like, because all this topic of the university, he's like, yo, listen to this thing that we just got sent to our like university email.
Oh, I hung out with him actually on Friday night.
Yeah, well, we won't.
I'm not gonna.
I think he's on the DL about his. He's trying to be a college boy, but basically he sent me this thing, and so what happened was some girl. There was kind of like basically homeless type guy that's running around campus fondling girls or whatever.
Okay.
And they sent a thing out to everyone being like, be on the lookout for the fondler. And then they put, the suspect is described as male presenting, about 6 feet in height, with a beard, dark hair, and wearing a dark, large beige jacket. But they don't want to say what the race is.
Well, of course. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, but what are you gonna? How are you gonna find the guy? We know he's over 6 feet with a beard. Might be a male, might be a female. We don't know what race he is.
I mean, if he was something like, say,
all we know is he's grabbing bums.
if he was something like, say, Filipino, that would really narrow it down.
It might narrow it.
Really narrow it down if they knew he was Filipino and they said it.
Do you think? Yeah. So basically,
There's a lot of people you could exclude from being dangerous.
honestly, that one piece of information probably could have narrowed at the bare minimum, narrowed it down by 50%. Well, they don't even know if it's a guy or
Well,
girl.
actually, it does narrow it down by 50% because you know he ain't white.
That's okay. It did actually narrow it down.
Yeah,
See,
it does.
the clues
they
in the no clues.
They are kind of telling you.
The devil's in the lack of details. Anyways, the Alex Jones thing was
Sounds like a rabbi. He sounds like he could be a rabbi.
probably a rabbi.
Probably a rabbi. Watch out for the rabbis. Dude, I had last night after I left the game. Did you see because it's Hanukkah right now, and then the Jews in this city, the Orthodox ones, are so fucking aggressive.
Well, not to me. What did they do?
With the mitzvahs and stuff. This kid literally stuck his head out of like a mitzvah bus and he goes, "Are you Jewish?" They're like yelling at me if I'm Jewish. They go, "Are you Jewish?" And they have this weird lisp. They can't say Jewish. They say Jewish.
And then when you said yes, what do they do?
I don't say yes. Are you kidding?
Oh.
Dude, that gets me fucking jammed up. If I say yes, I'm like, I just agreed to do something for 20 minutes. They don't just be like, yes.
Sometimes they give you a present, though, no?
Yeah, Jews are giving away fucking presents. No,
They do, don't they?
sometimes they
I
might.
feel like those guys sit in Union
last-
Square and they ask
last-
if you're Jewish, and if you are, they give you a present. If they're not, they spit on you.
Actually, at the Islanders game, I went to the Islanders-Leafs game on Monday night.
Danny's been on tour with the Leafs like
yeah,
the fish.
Yeah, I know I've been following the Leafs around. But they were giving away free menorahs, actually. But it was at the beginning of the game, and then you're like, what, I got to carry around a menorah all night? Fuck that.
Do they give you menorahs sort of like the guys hand out the CDs where you touched it, you bought it?
God, well, that's what I'm worried about. I mean, I don't. That's what I think. If Jews are like, here, take this thing, and you go, oh, thank you, and they go, that'll be $12.
No, they don't ask you for $12. They have the tap thing ready to go, and they just tap it to your ass. Taps on your credit card without knowing. That's it. Do you think there's a new pickpocket style where basically they have like a tap thing and they bump into you?
Yeah,
and
they kind of
tap
bump
it
into
against
you.
your wallet.
There was because
That's a good pickpocket
There
scheme.
are RFID wallets that like block it and stuff because of that. I think, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the Elon Musk thing was interesting because he got back on. I don't know if he's tweeted that much or whatever, but it was just obviously, as you can imagine, 10,000 articles were just like, the world's over, basically, right?
Uh-huh.
And then people like, even like, Jason Callahan, it's like those kind of people or whatever. People were, posting these big things about, obviously the main thing they're mad about is the Sandy Hook thing still, right?
Yeah.
When he thought the Sandy Hook wasn't real, and that's, or at least.
The spaces he ended up doing when he got back on was like crazy. And
Did you watch them?
I listened to some of it.
I know Vivek got taken to piss.
Yeah, he went and took a piss, and there was just
That
it was
was
like
the
it was
flow.
like Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, Elon Musk. There was, like,
Wild.
all these people just. I mean, there's a crazy
Bad
feature.
Boy Avengers.
Crazy feature of Twitter where they're like, you just have like this, just sets up these like phone calls that everybody can listen to with all these people. Kind of wild.
Yeah, super crazy. But it was interesting because everyone, you can tell, like Trump got people just like fucking so mad.
Yeah.
The Alex Jones thing, because it was 10 years ago and people are like really, really mad about it. And I was kind of thinking, like, what would it take to get me like that mad about something? And I couldn't think of anything. Like, even the thing I could think of, like, maybe imagine there was like, the closest I could get it would have to be something where like 10 years later I was still like, no way.
Yeah.
I thought of the only thing is if someone did something, maybe they were like a pedophile or something, and it was like, molested someone, like someone
your
you
family?
knew. Yeah, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And then they were
Someone
like,
wronged you badly.
But then you'd still be like, I don't know if I'd be campaigning for them to not have like a Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
also, he paid, like, he's losing all his money over this. So isn't that the fact that he is being penalized? It's one thing to say.
But I could see being mad about it, but still being like, he can't have any social media platforms. That's the part like I don't get. I guess they're like, he's going to do it again. But I couldn't think. I was like, maybe if there was like a girl that like falsely accused like everyone I know, and then they like went to jail.
But the thing is, for him,
and you'd be like, I guess 10 years later, they're like trying to put her on social media again. But I still feel like
the reason he didn't get kicked off of Twitter for that, though, he got kicked off of Twitter for like accosting Oliver Darcy, who's like a CNN reporter, about some like free speech thing or something. So the thing is, the problem is how selective even Twitter was about it. And
That's
Twitter
what I
just
mean.
came out too. I think it came out yesterday or 2 days ago, saying like they were manipulating the trending tab to choose what to make trending, which is like a crazy editorial idea, or
well, everyone knew that.
Yeah, I guess.
mean, that you could see with your own two eyes, because you would see, hey, this has 10,000 tweets and it's not trending, and this has 3,000 tweets and it's trending.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I guess Elon confirmed it, which it had never been actually confirmed. But yeah, like they got him. The Sandy Hook thing was 10 years ago, and then they kicked him off in 2018 for something related to essentially politics. So they just one day woke up and just chose that they were going to kick him off.
Well, yeah, they got him rid of it. There was one day where he got like wiped from the internet, if you remember that.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's like some crazy coordinated thing where they kick him off everywhere.
But it was kind of like, I think what I was sort of, I think my conclusion was, if enough people come together and they almost tell you it's like your duty, like I feel like you can get people to do things on, you know how everyone even tells you, like they have everyone convinced like voting's your duty.
Yeah.
Like there's and I know this is an unpopular take of mine, but I always say like, telling people their duty, like something you have to go do something you don't want to do and it's your duty, is sort of like how you convince dumb people to do shit they don't want to do. Like,
Yeah.
But it really is, it's like, it's your duty almost to be like, bruh.
Yeah,
I think that's how.
I mean,
they
the
get
thing with
people.
with the Twitter thing, I'm like, I don't know. Look, yeah.
I'm more talking about people that are just viscerally like fucking. They're still just like his name just.
Yeah, I mean, again, block him, I guess, if you don't want to see anything from him. Like, there is a mechanism to mute and block.
But that's my
people.
point. I think it has to be deeper than that, and I think they've convinced people that like this is your like
It's a moral
duty as a citizen to like be mad.
Yeah, well, it's a moral argument. People are essentially saying, that is the worst thing that someone can do, and like when you lost your child in a school shooting, and then for someone to make your life worse for profit, which is debatable. It's a pretty shitty thing he did, and he tried to in the Twitter space.
But there's people who've probably done worse things, I guess, right?
Of course there are, and in the Twitter space,
like there's people that have. I mean, people always. The obvious one is there's people in government that have made decisions that have led to millions of people dying.
Of course, yeah. Should they not have Twitter?
I mean, if you want to be somewhat consistent, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But that's what you pick certain ones and convince people that this is like, if you're not mad about this, you're not a good person.
Yeah.
I think that's how you get people.
I mean, he did a shitty thing. I guess the question is, does the shitty thing you did just define you for the rest of your life? And, even if you've had some sort of penalty meted out, like that's just it, it doesn't matter, like that's who you are, and we can't hear from you ever again because you did this one shitty thing. I mean, he also exposed Epstein's Island like 10 years before anybody was talking about it.
That's the question. Well,
it's like, does that balance
so
out?
I was going through a bunch of conspiracy articles just to kind of see what are some of the big ones that are be proven true, and there is some pretty wild ones that like were proven true.
Yeah.
So it is, and if you get into that zone where you go, hey, the media is lying to you, there's 100 things that like you weren't allowed to say, and now they're proven true. You can easily see how everyone's super skeptical out of the gate, right?
Yeah,
I guess the trick is you just have to be somewhat tactful in your approach or whatever. But the Gulf of Tonkin, like that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
So it's like if they're like false flags like did happen.
Yeah, for sure.
MK Ultra, like forever that was just like you're crazy, and then it was like no, they're getting people and forcing them to do acid, and the operation.
Charlie Manson, I think, was one of those.
He was one of them. There's a lot of people that are one of them. You know what? And basically they convinced them all to do acid. Then that proved to be true. And it's like those are things that you lose your job probably for saying.
Of course.
Do you know what Operation Midnight Climax was?
No, sounds hot though.
So I think it's like related to that. So it was established in order to study the effects of LSD on non-consenting individuals. Prostitutes on the CIA payroll were instructed to lure clients back to safe houses where they are serendipitously plied with a wide range of substances, including LSD, monitored behind a one-way glass. So basically they got CIA guys just behind a one-way glass fucking jacking off of this shit.
That's insane.
Whose idea was that, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Can you imagine you were a John and you're just like trying to go for a night out, and then you like, fuck it, I'm gonna hit a prosty, and then you hit a prosty, and before you know it, you're like on LSD tied to a bed basically, and then it turns out like the government
did that just to run a test. Yeah, I mean, they famously, like with Freeway,
trying to see if your bone's harder or softer with more LSD.
Yeah, with Freeway Rick Ross or whatever, they basically were like bringing cocaine in the United States and like created the whole crack epidemic.
The drug ones, there's a huge
and then the guy George Webb, it's so funny, the guy George Webb who did this whole investigative journalism thing on it, and at the time they're like, this guy's full of shit, and then he got fired from his job.
Of course he did.
And then he committed suicide, and like, it's so funny because it's one of those things where there is some official explanation for how it happened, but then you see he committed suicide, 2 shots to the head.
Crazy.
But they're like, oh, he shot himself in like one, and then like it hit him in the cheek or something, and then he like went.
Oh, they had a crazy explanation.
Yeah, so obviously
it was banging her. The bullet was banging around.
But it's like he killed himself. 2 shots to the head.
One thing was wild. I don't think we mentioned this last week, but there was this article about how in Baltimore the homeless people are peeing all over every building to the point where it's like eroding the buildings.
Yeah.
And then to stop it, they basically were like, oh, let's put cameras everywhere on the buildings. And then the homeless people and a lot of their like advocates or whatever were saying that they basically did a statement saying it's unfair that they're putting cameras in their bathroom. They're calling the building their bathroom. And then I was sort of thinking about it more, and it is sort of funny because you go, the cameras, the homeless people aren't going to care about the cameras. So really, if you are a part of that committee where you're like, how are we going to stop the peeing? You're the guy that's like, what if we film it?
Yeah.
And you're like, someone's like, that's not going to work. And you're like, I already have the mainframe set up in my garage. Hey, hey, well, what would that do? It's like, I'll monitor it. It does sound like one perv at the place.
One
It's just
perv
like,
is trying to
let's
get his
film it.
rocks
Because
off.
even if you saw it, you can call the cops and be like, we got one. Cops, he's being on the building. And can you be here in 40 seconds?
Yeah, no chance. I mean, what are they going to even arrest them for?
So basically, you just have all this footage of homeless people peeing, and the guy's just like, and you go, we didn't solve the problem. He goes, we solved my problem.
Yeah. I don't think homeless people are going to care too much about that.
Well, that's what I mean, because I thought about it at the
You
beginning.
could put it at fucking like dick height, and they're still not going to care. They'll just piss all over it.
Yeah, people were protesting the cameras, but when you think about it, the cameras were not doing anything.
No.
So this is another one was basically the government was during Prohibition, the government poisoned alcohol to keep people from drinking.
Yeah.
That's like a crazy one because people say stuff like that happens now. And you're always like, as if.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, they have done that. Obviously, it's not the same people, but it's like these.
Well, this was like, I think
bodies.
with commercial alcohols, they just made them added something.
And no, they were also doing it to like bootleggers.
Yeah.
It's like putting. I mean, it's essentially putting fentanyl in the drugs, right?
Essentially to
and like you
dissuade
said,
people from using drugs.
That makes you definitely think if they're doing it now. That's for sure.
I mean,
Because if they want some law passed or whatever, it's like, okay, well, a good way to get your drug law passed is too many overdoses, right?
Yeah, and they're also like CIA and stuff has these black budgets where they can't get money from.
Buddy, I don't know if I
normal
told
stuff,
you this, but someone who works for the government in Canada, basically, they're doing these like safe injection sites, right?
Yeah.
And they go, so basically how it works is people are coming in to get their drugs, and they'll give them like the drugs to get off the drugs too.
Yeah, like
So
methadone or something.
How it started is they have now the drug dealers come to the safe injection sites, and they basically, each drug dealer has like an office. So basically the drug dealers just have like an office there, and they just sit there with all their drugs, and people come in and buy drugs from them, and then they give them free like the get off drugs, and then they just walk across the street, and one of the other drug dealers sets up shop they can sell their fake drugs to get more drugs, and then they just walk back and go to one of the drug dealers' offices, and then
This is Vancouver, has to be.
I think this is Toronto, but it might be happening in other places. But this guy, I'm pretty sure it was Toronto. But essentially what he said was, because of the way that they always try to solve like multiple problems at once, they gave former drug dealers the jobs of like running the place or whatever.
Yeah.
But then a lot of them got back on drugs. So he goes, essentially like the guy running the place is like ODing in the corner. So the guy who is like in charge of the one place like is ODing. There's basically all these drug dealers just set up their things. And then basically
It's like a drug flea market.
It's a drug flea market, and then outside, like a guy got shot, which is like what draw attention to this whole thing. So basically, you have a bunch of people ODing. The drug dealers have like their own office, and then across the streets where the office, and then this is the big problem. It's a school across the street. So basically, they can't do their needles there, so they go across the street to drop off their needles. I might be getting like some of these facts a little off, but basically, all the schools complaining because they're just the school's full of needles now because they have the drug site across the street, and then they go to complain, and the guy who runs the place is like ODing, and it's just like, he goes, he's like, you've never seen anything crazier in your life. He goes, you want to talk about fucking bureaucracy gone haywire or whatever.
And they're just probably like, well, there's been 5 less overdose deaths, so this is working.
But there's apparently
if you
that's
use
not
that one metric. But if you use like one metric, you go, well, technically this is working.
Well, his argument is that's not really what's happening.
No.
I guess there's maybe more ambulance on the scene at the ready to go.
Yeah.
So if you do OD there, I mean, whatever. But he said it's a fucking. He's like, it's a gong show.
That's in Toronto?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's kind of like when like a bunch of chicks put together like a charity, and before you know it, it's all like a mess. They're all like embezzling funds within the week.
It's what is the place where they like had some animal problems and they like released the bears, and then
it's releasing the bears.
It's releasing the bears.
Well, it's releasing the bears, and then the bears are problems. So you release the lions to get the bears, and then the bears lions are problems. So you give
predator.
You give the bears guns. It's funny. I didn't know that we were going to be talking about this episode, but I mentioned this earlier. The electric toothbrush that has now been charged, ready to go.
Let's go.
Don't let Danny near the vibrating product because it's going to be used for something that you're not going to want to put it back in your mouth after. I'll tell you that very much right now. This is Quip we are talking about. They got electric toothbrush, mints and gum, water flosser, which is a big...
I use at home.
Wait, buddy, you feel like you're getting your professional cleaning cleaning done.
Pretty badass.
Whether you're at home, whether you're traveling, brushing, flossing has got to be part of your habit. You know what I mean? I've been taking care of my teeth. I went to the dentist. I got all my fillings.
Got to take care of the teeth.
I got all my new fillings done. Got the electric toothbrush cooking.
Yep.
Quip. And if you don't know what it is, let me just tell you about the water flosser. It hits all the right spots with gentle or deep clean pressure at the touch of a button. Extra wide lid that fits right under the faucet and fills up in 5 seconds. Blasts away up to 99% of the plaque from treating areas with precision thanks to 360-degree rotating magnetic floss steps. So you been liking it?
Yeah, it's like you can get it really in there too. And it has this long kind of arm on it thing and a little hook, and it just sprays us.
So we've been telling you about Quip. Get your teeth right. The Quip electric toothbrush is loved by over 9 million mouths. On top of brushing, you can upgrade the Quip with a smart motor to track and improve your brushing with the free Quip app. With stylish, affordable electric brushes starting at $25, you won't be paying through the teeth for better oral care. So this could be a good present too for Christmas time if you haven't figured that out yet. So go to getquip.com/boyscast right now. You'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser at getquip.com/theboyscast. That is GETQUIP.com/boyscast. Quip, the good habits company. And cold turkey might be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your neighbor, your wacky neighbor, who's always fighting with his wife. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about fume. Not all habits are bad, so why not replace the bad part of the habit or the bad habit with a habit that's good?
Smart.
Fellas, we are talking about fume, and you know what some of those habits you might want to be quitting are, okay? Fume. Once again, another great present for someone. It's an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronic, Fume is completely natural. Instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habits easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dials designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety when you're breaking your habit. It's got a good taste, feel, look, the wood, beautiful, fun to fidget with. All of the different flavors, so you can get a bunch of them, so you can keep it interesting. And you got to try the new Solano. It's made from premium walnut barrel. You knock on it, you go, is this walnut?
Is that walnut?
Is this walnut? It's an onyx-coated mouthpiece that has a slightly softer finish. Start the holidays off right with the good habit by going to tryfume.com/boyscast, getting the journey pack today. Fume is giving listeners of the show 10% off when they use the code BOYSCAST to help make starting the good habit that much easier. Start the good habit at tryfume.com/theboyscast to save an additional 10% off your order today. But that was the bad booze one. It also, the bad booze thing also kind of got me thinking about American healthcare, because in the context of one of the things that are funny with America is it really is, either people have made this point, but it's such a taking culture that you have such a culture of like take what you can, that if you had like free healthcare, like you'd have people probably being like ripping off their own skin, and you'd be like, why are you doing that? You're like, it's free to fix. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People would go in and be getting like 95.
You'd be stupid not to.
Well, look, they gave people free boosters. They got 10,000 of them.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I was okay. I know I'm sort of going on tangents here, but I was thinking, because do you remember in the pandemic, a lot of people would tell you, in the pandemic, a lot of people were showing you whatever side they were on. They were showing you number, like everyone had their different numbers.
The data, yeah.
So people that were pro lockdowns and stuff would be like, look at Florida, and then the people that were like against the vaccine would be like this. And I go, that's how you know this was a Chinese. This is how smart the like Chinese government is. The Chinese government created a virus that convinced everyone in America to do math. So basically,
get education and statistics.
Yeah, the Chinese government basically was like, we need to create a virus that gets everyone into math, because they're preparing you for the Chinese takeover.
Yeah, you're gonna need real good statistics knowledge.
Isn't that a good point?
Yeah, that's funny.
So, anyways, okay, the healthcare thing was sort of funny, but the best one is Canada tried to develop Gaydar.
I love this.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, you saw this one. That's good, right?
Yeah.
The Canadian government was so paranoid about homosexuality that it developed a Gaydar machine, and it really happened. It was in the 1960s. The government hired a university professor to develop a way to detect homosexuality in federal employees. He came up with a machine that measured pupil dilation in response to same-sex erotic imagery. So they showed everyone gay porn. And basically what happened is
you're like, I thought I was here for some sleep study. You're like signing up for one of those like studies where you like pull the fucking tab and they're like, yeah, we'll pay you $300. You're like, just making us watch gay porn.
And they fired you. They fired 400 people from the army for basically
their pupils dilated.
No, yeah, exactly. Their pupils dilated, and the guy coming when he saw the thing, and that was called a dishonorable discharge.
That's real dishonorable.
That's the ultimate dishonorable discharge is because they're checking your pupils and one guy just creams his pants and that's the true dishonorable discharge. Can you imagine getting fired from the army because you didn't pass the Gaydar?
And then you're trying
we
to
need Gaydar in the. I wish I had the Gaydar so much.
And then you're trying to be like, this isn't real. This is not Gaydar. There's no such thing as. And they go, yeah, says the guy who fucking flunked it. Yeah, but you would say that it's a fucking load of shit. You failed.
I would love to get my hands on the Gaydar inspection, but the Gaydar is not really good because you have to show them porn first.
Yeah.
So your Gaydar involves you holding a laptop of gay porn.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if the Gaydar is if you start trying to use the Gaydar, you lost because you're the guy holding the gay porn.
Yeah, you're all watching gay porn.
That's the trick. They ask you, it's like, hey, would you run this Gaydar seminar? You're gonna have to show everyone gay porn. You're gonna have to collect the gay porn. You go, yeah. You go, you just failed.
Yeah, you just failed.
That was the Gaydar.
Damn, Canada's wild. Then
that sucks so bad to be an army guy that got kicked out, and everyone's like, "What'd you get kicked out for?" And you have to be like, "The Gaydar."
You're like, I'm not gay though.
The goddamn Gaydar got me.
They made us watch gay porn.
So this is some army guy. And I'll tell you what, when you signed up to be a university professor, actually maybe this guy could have been into it, but when you signed up to be a university professor, you also didn't think you were going to be searching through hours of gay porn to make your gay Gaydar machine. And you go, why are you looking through all this gay porn? It's like to make sure no one's gay.
I mean, it's wild what people do for work. Wild, the different types of jobs that exist, huh?
I have another theory about that involves gay people.
Okay.
So the Hunter Biden scandal was a. The Hunter Biden scandal was a plan. I don't know if plans, a scheme. The Hunter Biden's plan. The Hunter Biden scandal was a big scheme to turn Republicans gay because it made them all beg to see his dick.
They're all sharing fucking photos of his horn.
Yeah, but they were begging for it because they were like, it's being censored. Like you're not showing us the dick. You know what I mean?
This has real consequences. Show us the cock.
It convinced a bunch of like Christian conservatives that they need to see this dick.
That's true. Yeah. And they
big gay.
That is.
They did see it.
Tad.
I don't know if I don't want to get that. We have to. Once they did see it, we need the pupil dilator.
Yeah. See, China probably has an app where you see it on your phone, and then the camera just on your phone sees it.
So they show you the Hunter Biden thing. They show everyone, and then your screen records your pupil dilation. And then China makes notes of that.
Yeah, I should delete my search history.
Ooh,
my browser history.
Oh, I don't have to delete mine.
Yeah.
Boobs.
I wonder how long they kept
bigger boobs.
I wonder how long they kept going on the Gaydar thing before they gave up. They go, this is bullshit.
400 people is what it sounds like.
But like, was it like 5 years? They spent 100.
No, I'll tell you what happened. Is the guy who was running the study said he's gay, and he goes, "Shut it down! Doesn't work. It's broken. The Gaydar's broken."
Yeah, the moment it turns on the guy whose like idea was to flush out all the gays.
someone important enough got called gay, and he said that the machine's broken. Shut it down.
Yeah.
I wonder if those people got their jobs back.
I doubt it because it's probably like in the 60s or something. This was not when the military admitted their mistakes.
Right.
This was when they probably just kicked you out and you go, yeah, good luck.
Well, I feel like the American military Gaydar would be like, "Are you in the Canadian military? You're gay."
If you're in any other military other than the United States, gay.
Yeah, you failed the Gaydar.
Failed the Gaydar.
How good is that?
That's amazing.
The Dead Baby Project. So this is stuff that people always kind of say, but basically the government, they to study the nuclear fallout, the government was stealing babies' bodies to do radioactive testing, and they stole I think it was like thousands of babies. And basically, it's kind of a little tweak from the actual truth, but the actual truth was they were going to the babies and sneaking in and being like, "Oh, sorry for your loss," and then getting a little sample of the baby,
taking a sample of the baby.
cutting off a little part of its skin or whatever. While the families were still, the blood was still cold or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, man.
But that was one. So basically, the kid would die, and they'd just pop in there, just make sure you're okay, and then get a little thing. So there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies that are real. The question:
Dalai Lama was getting paid by the CIA.
The CIA is up to all sorts of crap. I mean, the CIA killed fucking JFK and RFK Jr. Like that's from RFK Senior, sorry, which is what RFK Jr. is saying right now.
Right.
Like he's saying that. I mean, the CIA is up to all sorts of nonsense.
All sorts of crazy stuff. And the reason for the Dalai Lama
September 11th.
The Dalai Lama one.
Building 7.
Disclaimer on this podcast.
Oh, we probably just did get a thing.
A what?
Probably just did get the thing below right now.
We just got the thing below.
It'd be cool.
Note, the male who said that comment did not pass Gaydar studies.
It's a Wikipedia entry. I go, what the fuck?
Yeah, the Dalai Lama one was to destabilize China because he was kind of like an activist, right? It's that's the ones they always do. That was kind of the Ukraine one too. It was like the Soros money for funding the Ukraine stuff, like so they could get the turnover.
And like the Manuel Noriega, not the rapper.
Yeah, so there's so many of these things that have been proven true, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Sorry.
I was just gonna say if people like conspiracies, I got the MH370. This guy Ashton Forbes on my show on Tuesday, December 19th.
What's his deal?
Low Value Mail. He's the guy I showed you with
Malaysian
the fucking
pilot.
The flight. Remember I showed you the video where it just like disappears.
Okay, that's
the
his
plane.
thing.
Yeah. Anyways, he's been very active on Twitter. So
you know what? Okay, want to know something crazy? Because I'm into the cop shows, right?
Yep.
I'm on tour. I'm watching them on TV. By the way, watching TV with commercials is literally out of control. It takes you 4 hours to watch a 1 hour program. It's nuts, right? Some of the commercials, they don't have enough commercials, so they run the same one twice, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens. They probably sold this guy 10 commercials. They don't know they're getting 3 in the same break.
Yeah.
But out of control. But the crazy difference between FBI and Chicago PD blew my mind, and I watched them back to back. FBI I turned off because I'm not watching that propaganda any longer.
Okay.
FBI takes place in New York.
yeah.
So in the middle of New York, they're having this is how it starts out. They're having a white supremacist meetup in New York, New York City. The guy's standing. The guy basically sold out Madison Square Garden for his racist meeting. And the guy,
I mean, that did happen, but like in the 40s.
This guy's standing up the screen and he's just doing all the things like immigrants, like and the white man is being stifled. Like he's just saying all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then basically. Someone comes into the thing that isn't white, and everyone stands up. Go back to your country.
Yeah, of course.
This is a first and 15th. You know what I mean? First and 15th. The guy's doing his white supremacy meeting. He's got 80 people there, or not 80, 800. And then basically the cops come in, and they're everyone get back to your country or whatever. And I watched like another 10 minutes, and I was like, enough of this.
Yeah.
This show is insane.
Okay.
And then Chicago PD. The other way, Chicago PD, I think it's called that, but something about Chicago.
Yeah.
It's the guy with the voice. He's got the voice like me a little bit. By the way, Jonathan Haidt was supposed to be on our podcast next week. I haven't told you this, but he also lost his voice, and me and him were waxing back and forth about voice stuff, and he might have to get the surgery, so it might have to get postponed a little bit. But this is how the guy speaks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was telling him, I know all the voice tricks, right?
Tricks. I remember I lost my
Well, he went to a normal doctor, and basically I was telling him the normal doctor's capping with the things he's telling him.
Cap of the week.
Yeah, but so Chicago PD, it starts out, it's these two, it's the main guy, right? And then there's like a bad guy who's kind of like a, child abductor or woman abductor or something like that.
Yeah.
They bring him to like a warehouse, kill the guy. The cops do, off the record. The main cop takes the guy to the middle of the forest, buries the body, and then comes back and bees a cop. And then they're looking for the bad guy and knowing that they still killed him already or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of like following up on their own like leads and trying to get, and then they're like trying to go, oh, we might go to the FBI. They have to stop them because they're going to find out that they killed them. And then at the end of it, the guy who knew, basically they shoot him. So he's dead. And then the body's buried. And it was like a happy ending. Like
what?
Yeah, like
so they're all super corrupt.
But like the corruption was like the protagonist, and then at the end of it, it gets solved, and it was kind of like, you know what, that was a bad man, and we just have to live with what we did, but we did the right thing, and that's how it ends, and you're just like, whoa,
that's crazy. Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be like that guy gets goes arrested, and you never see him again. That's the end of him on the series.
Yeah. This is more like The Shield. You ever watch The Shield?
Shield's that?
The Shield's like that, where they're super corrupt and they're just doing all this insane shit nonstop.
Okay, well, Well,
killing other cops.
Chicago PD's that, and I guess they're good guys though. That's the difference.
I guess that's debatable.
Well, there's, I mean, they're written as the protagonist.
Oh, they're written as they're written as the protagonist. Yeah.
It was wild.
That's crazy.
So I'll just do another couple little, crazy articles that are right now. The media says the Economist names Trump the biggest danger for 2024, and this is on Axios. And you go, the amount of brain cells fried you have to be like, the economy is going to be worse if Trump, like, the stock market will jump 20% that day.
All these people had their chance at this, though. Like, all the people who's with the Chicken Little stuff saying the sky is falling the last time Trump was president, you're like, we've now made it through a full Trump presidency, almost a full Biden presidency.
No, this time he's really going to tank the economy.
You go, this time it's a real threat to democracy. You're like, no, they had their chance at that. If you were right the first time, then I guess he wouldn't maybe, I guess if they're right the first time, then he would just be like dictator for life, but he's not, and you were wrong. Shut up.
Well, we had we talked about this a bit before because it was popping into the consciousness that there's a little bit of conspiracy debunkers in the blogging community, and they've debunked the conspiracy. We talked about it. They debunked the conspiracy that males might have been hunters and women's were gatherers.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
super debunked.
It's been super debunked.
Massively debunked.
But in about a month of this getting on the scene, like a month ago, you started seeing the article where it was like every Roman was gay. And then it was like a week later, it was just like gatherers were men and hunters were women. This is where they're at now within a month of like starting to play around with this idea. Prehistoric women were better at hunting than men.
Okay. All right.
So now they weren't.
Let me just get this cap off.
We're going to go cap of the week.
Cap of the week, everybody.
Cap of the week, everybody.
Caps on my head. Oh. Yeah, that's
if you envision
nonsense.
a prehistoric hunter, a vision of a caveman may spring to mind. Well, not me. My vision when I think of a hunter, I think like purple hair. I think
two spirit.
I think two purple
two
hair.
Spirit minimum, at least two spirits.
A shirt that says the future is female, just holding their pink bow.
Yeah.
Or not their pink bow. I guess their gender neutral colored bow.
Still be pink.
But the funniest part to me was they were like, if you back in time, women were better hunters, and you're just like, well, why aren't they now?
Yeah.
Well, think about that. You go, okay, so they have hunting competitions and stuff like that. Like, why aren't women better at hunting now?
Yeah. And this is some real mental gymnastics stretching going on here for them to...
Mental retardation.
To make this case, too, because essentially they're saying women hold fat on their bodies,
and there is some tiny truth to it that our women have are better at long distance, and when they mean long distance, they mean 100-mile runs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then they say that the way that women's hips are designed is like they have they can cover more ground without burning as much energy. I guess is the which I don't even know if that's true, but that doesn't make them better hunters.
No, what they're saying is after 45 days of hunting, the guys are tired, and then on that last day, the girls are pulling ahead a little bit. And it was just like after the guys already got all the
we already got the fucking woolly mammoth. We've been dragging it back for 40 days. Thanks.
Yeah, it's cap of the week, but also the last line, they go, a new study claims that these cavemen paled in comparison to their female counterparts. So now they're saying they paled in comparison. But that wasn't the best line. That was the second best line. Sorry. Furthermore, we have no reason to believe that prehistoric women abandoned their hunting while pregnant, breastfeeding, or carrying children. Okay. So now
they got fucking two kids on each tit, and they're just like, yeah.
How do you write this article? You go, remember how you thought last week that men were hunters and females were gatherers?
Yeah.
Actually, what's the truth is that females dominated men in hunting while they carried two babies on each of their tits.
Yeah. They're not even. This is real revisionism right here.
Well, this is crazier than anything Alex Jones has ever said.
Yeah, why aren't these people not getting kicked off of Twitter for this nonsense?
The only thing, maybe there's the odd lesbian who's good at hunting.
Yeah, maybe.
Highest domestic violence rate.
yeah, that's true.
I always say because they're fighting over who gets to have the brush cut.
Who gets to use the drill.
Actually, you know what? It's interesting.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Because the truth is, when a lot of, like the girl lesbians, it's like kind of trendy, the, non-binary bisexuals.
Yeah.
Whereas actual lesbians kind of fuck with me.
Yeah.
Like, I find that I actually get along very well with actual lesbians where it's like, no, I'm an actual lesbian.
Yeah, they're like actual lesbian. They're not like all, well, because they don't believe
They're kind
in
of
a
like
lot of
dudes.
Yeah, they're kind of like dudes, and they don't believe a lot of that
Like,
stuff.
the comedians that I know that are lesbians, they're like actually lesbians.
Yeah.
They're like funny and cool.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of like guys.
Yeah, lesbos kind of rule. It's the fake ones that are annoying.
Yeah, for sure. The ones who are temporary, don't own a single pair of overalls. Those ones.
I haven't seen on stage though that the trans stuff was because there was only one school shooter that was a male that was female, and basically 25 years as a female, no problem. 1 year paying for her own drinks, get my gun. But I was saying that, but it's the same as the trans women. You go, they lived 25 years as a man, 1 year as a woman. Now they're annoying. Started switching.
That's funny.
But that was one, and then their last conspiracy is I'll tell you, this is a conspiracy: how women drinkers could save the male-centric beer industry.
Right.
And they're
Right. They don't need saving.
Ale-
This starts off with the idea that the
false
beer
premise. You're right.
Yeah, the beer drinking industry needs saving. I'm pretty sure the beer drinking industry is doing pretty good.
They're saying beer's on its way out.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, beer's done with. Why? Just because White Claws or some shit?
Yeah, they're saying. I think what they really mean is the Bud Light thing, and their solution is more.
By the way,
more
this
of
place
the
is
Bud
near
Light
my
thing.
house actually, and I've walked by. It looks kind of cool, but it's just.
Well, yeah, if you want to have like a
just
girl
a normal.
beer.
It's not, but it's just like a normal bar. That's the nonsense. Is they're like, we need to save. You're like, it's just shut up.
So what is it?
It's just like they're some brewing company, but it's a brewery that's just run by chicks, and so
It's for chicks, by chicks, and it's beer.
kind of, but it's just beer.
But it's beer promoted to girls, which is always going to be a niche. But they're positing it like women are going to all switch to beer.
But like chicks are stupid though, because they are so easily influenced by marketing. Like I always make fun of my girl because she buys this it's like a protein bar, but it's like a protein bar for women. Which is obviously like, so it's more expensive.
right.
But you're like, what does that mean? What's a protein bar for women? But like it says, like this is like
Rapper's easier
it's called
to take
like
off?
Luna Bar. Yeah. Maybe the wrapper is easier to take off. It has snaps on it. So it's like,
You're like, what would honestly
what does that
be
mean?
the
It's like
difference?
chicks buy it. And like I remember she told us, she goes, "Can you get it's a protein bar for women?" And I go, "Are you fucking retarded?" What are you talking about? What does that have extra estrogen in it or something? Like, it's like they sell it at Whole Foods, just like a protein bar, but the way they market it is chicks go, "Oh, it's for women."
Sure.
I wouldn't want to have to screw up and get one of those protein bars for men.
Right.
That would kind of knock you.
Male proteins.
Yeah.
Actually, but what? No, I was just gonna get. You got me thinking of my drink that I want.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go.
Alienating marketing and sexist attitudes have long made women a second thought in the beer industry. Nothing to do with the fact that they like it less. And by the way, if there was a campaign to get women to drink beer instead of a $45 martini, it's like, okay, good.
Sure.
But it's like, good luck with that. We'd all like that.
Yeah, I mean the main problem is it makes you fat, and girls don't like that.
Now now companies are waking up to the reality that inclusivity is ludicrous. Boldly displayed in the craft beer section. So you sort of explained, but yeah, it's basically saying lingerie.
It's craft beer for chick, and they have like their can is, but cans there's a million different craft beer cans.
And it is fine, but I think the options, the idea that this might save the beer industry might be might be pushing it a little.
Yeah, how 3 women saved the beer industry
By convincing women to drink beers. It's like, wouldn't you write an article after that being like, 3 women killed the martini industry?
Also, all they're doing is convincing women who already drink beer to drink their beer. They're not.
Of course.
Chicks are not like that. Like my girl is not drinking beer.
No,
not happening.
Nor should she. It makes you fat.
That's what I'm saying. But there's no scenario where any marketing campaign was so good that she's all of a sudden
Convince the
like,
girls to have a loaf of bread every time they party.
she's like, I'm not drinking beer. Like it's not happening. She drinks vodka sodas or whatever. Like it doesn't matter.
I'm not going to go too far into this because we did a lot of them on the Patreon, but just since we've been talking about the COVID, the zero COVID Reddit, people have been sending me a lot of stuff, and a buddy of mine sent me like a personal person that he knows, just a screenshot. There was her name. She goes, "Snowy COVID conscious outside lunch at the office," and this person leaves the office to go eat lunch in the snow. because they think COVID is too
Really?
much of a problem. That's the photo.
Dude, I tweeted about this and people said that I was lying, but I was not lying. I was near my house in Williamsburg, and there's this place called Chopped. It's like one of those salad places, and there was a guy. It's like at 8 p.m. on like a weeknight or whatever. I was walking to, I think, Brooklyn Comedy Club, and he was sitting at the bar that's like by the window. There was only 2 employees in the whole store, giant thing, and he was eating a salad, and he had a mask on, and he was literally fucking like pulled the mask down, takes a bite, puts the mask back on, and I was like,
Jesus.
I was gonna take a picture, but I'm like, I didn't want to like blow up some dude like that, you know.
No, you don't want to do a
I don't want
individual
to,
dude.
yeah, like an actual guy or whatever. So I was like, I didn't do it, but legitimately, this was a week ago.
Wild.
Crazy.
And there's one more. I only she got sent a lot of them, but I just picked the best 2. Last night, this is a girl's post. Last night, once again discussing COVID with my boyfriend, he snapped and said, "Can't we just have one night that isn't centered around COVID?" She goes, "I can't. COVID stole my life. I have to fight emotionally and physically every single moment of every single day to stay alive. I can't just ignore it. Would he have said this if I had a cancer diagnosis?" Well, the obvious thing is, if you knew someone and they had cancer, it is probable that you wouldn't talk about cancer every moment of every day.
Also, this isn't cancer.
Like, imagine you had a wife that had cancer, and she was like, had a year to live or whatever, and you're like, you know what, let's eat dinner. Like, you probably wouldn't talk about cancer the whole time.
No, you would. Yeah,
It's like she's actually right.
Yeah, you've been like just picking at your peas, being like, so cancer stuff.
Yeah, like exactly. It's actually possible that
Probably
you wouldn't
to
be talking about
enjoy your
cancer the entire
last
time. So this girl's boyfriend's had enough where she just can't go through one night without her just talking about COVID the entire time and how everyone's ignoring it.
Also, yeah, you're like, everybody knows a million people who have died of cancer. Nobody knows anybody who's died of COVID. Like, at least when people are like, oh, cancer, you're like, cancer's serious. And you go, yeah, it is. A lot of people die of it.
People know people that have died of COVID.
Like, pretty rare.
Yeah.
Like, pretty rare. I guarantee you.
Well, it's not a death sentence, that's for sure.
Not a death sentence. Not that cancer is either, but it's way more of one. But at the end of the day, like, anybody who's listening to this podcast, like, likely doesn't know someone who died of COVID.
And then, yeah.
They very likely
and if they do, they're very old.
Yeah, but they likely know someone who died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
among a million other reasons was.
Sure. Oh, and you're just trapped in that relationship if you're that guy too, because COVID has no end to it.
This is for the rest
they'll
of her
have
life.
a cure for cancer before they have a cure for COVID.
Well, she doesn't have a cure for not having COVID.
That's
like,
what
right?
I'm saying. It's like
there's a cure for
very nebulous.
thinking you might get COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you another conspiracy theory, and the thread that I'm weaving here is, all of those things you weren't allowed to talk about, and here's all the things that people are positing right now. And 5 signs the problem with your relationship comes from your past life. So
this is very
any problems that you
stuff.
Well, the gist is any problems that you have in your relationship, your fault.
From a past life.
Well, it's your past life. Like, so I'll tell you.
You were like Napoleon or something.
How to pick your lover. Okay. What is the relationship pattern? How do I spot them? If you are experiencing problems with your partner and noticed you've had difficulty in relationships, it might be a result of something that happened in your life, in your past life. So generally, if you're fighting with your chick all day, if you're always having problems, that's not your fault. It's not her fault. It's Danny 2000 BC's fault.
Could it be her 2000 BC's fault?
It's someone else's fault.
Someone
That's the
else's fault.
The moral of the story is you didn't do nothing.
Well, that's the thing. I'm actually slightly on board with this if you can both agree that it's neither of your faults. But that's I probably
fucking our past life.
Past life. Sorry, I fucking keep cheating on you. So I was a cheater in the past life. So.
I was a boxer in the past life.
And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I know. Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I was a boxer." You go, "Yeah, I know. These past lives are crazy." Anyways, glad we can move on from that. And you're like, holy shit.
Danny,
works.
Honestly, I'm so sorry. In my past life, I was a librarian. Stop shushing me. I'm so sorry. In my past life, I was the chief librarian of the New York Library.
Sorry. I was very sound sensitive in my past life.
In my past life, I was beaten if I made food. So if I can't cook.
All right. I mean, if you trick your girl into that shit.
How do you pick your lovers? Sometimes, no matter how you try, you date the same person over and over and over again, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
don't feel too bad about this inclination towards the same sort of partner. It could be symptom of a past life pattern you're working to overcome. So it's not that you dated these 4 guys that all were deadbeats that went to jail and
and you just like a bad boy. It has nothing to do with...
well, it has to do with the fact that you've been dating bad boys for 8,000 years. It's a little harder to. It's a little harder to get rid of
that first hunter who, caveman who bunked you on the head.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, just who we are, you know.
That's one of my favorite David Spade jokes. But he had this. I can't remember the exact wording, but the gist of it was he goes, when you date a girl that she's the same guy over and over again. She goes, oh, my last 8 boyfriends like cheated on me and hit me, and I'm just looking for a good guy. And he goes, no, you're not.
Yeah, no, you are not.
No, you're not. So, how do you get along? Some people just don't get along. So if you are not getting along with people, it's past life. If you have a type, it's because of your past life. Perhaps in a past life, your relationship required struggle due to war or religious strife. You could be reliving such a pattern now, even though there are war or religious restrictions. Another possibility is that you were programmed by a past life to think being in love automatically means that you are going to fight. Passion for each other also means passionate disagreements. So if you're fighting all the time, it's because you were at war before.
Damn, the chick's fucking really stretching to crank out a fucking article from.
If you're dating someone that hates your guts and you hate their guts, you don't need to make any decisions or movements. This is something that you have no choice and you're helpless to. And it was because you 40,000 years ago, your soul was in a war.
Yeah, I mean, there is one element of I like of this where you just nobody has to take any responsibility for anything. But the problem is the chick will then probably weaponize this way more than you. Like for everything, she goes, I was, you know.
Obviously, I can't clean up. I was a fucking queen. I was a queen in my past life.
Yeah, I can't be made to do these things. And you go, all right.
How you let them treat you. If your lover is unkind, thoughtless, or mean, leading to a blow up followed by remorse or a short honeymoon period. In a past life, you might have been a slave or a servant. That's good. Telling a girl she was a slave in the past life.
Do you think there's any scenario where like there'd be for sure some chick who was like, you know, a white couple and then but it's like very like liberal and the chick's like, I was a black slave. So this is kind of awkward. But.
This is awkward because I was a black slave in my past.
Yeah, but it's like, but you're white. I know I am now. But
I am now. Lucky.
That's what happens.
Lucky me.
Whitewashed over all these generations makes me sick.
And I'm grateful that it worked out that way because the world is very unkind to my people for the last thousands of years where I was a black slave. Now, you probably heard us talking about this a couple episodes, but we're going to tell you about Lucy. You've been hearing about it all over the internet, but Lucy makes tobacco-free nicotine for people to focus better, think deeper, chill out, smoother, inspire creativity. I actually heard our boy Hermosi talking about it too. You got increased alertness, attention and mood, focus better, think deeper, inspire creativity, relax. What makes Lucy unique? So if you're using this, if you're doing the pouches, it's 100% pure tobacco-free nicotine. So get the tobacco out of there. No thank you. Beat it. You'll never find tobacco in any of our products, even with a magnifying glass. It's not there. Stop looking.
Not there.
It's looking for Johnny's D. It's not there. Switched it over. Wasn't expecting that, man. Everyone gets his taste, you know what I mean? Don't know where I'm going. Lucy's pouches are available in 5 strength, 2 milligram to 12 milligram, 12 different flavors: cinnamon, mint, mango, wintergreen, pomegranate, apple ice, espresso. And me personally, I've told you, you know this, I'm a Lucy guy. I got them when I'm out. Sometimes I'm at the comedy club. Sometimes I'm just me editing or whatever, you know, just a couple pouches here and there. Well, something I personally enjoy, man. They got rid of all the bad parts.
Yeah.
They don't leave your mouth dry. Flavors are long lasting. They got breakers, pouches, and gum. And Lucy's got the perfect balance of nicotine and flavor. So I am a fan. Whether you use nicotine to focus better, get a boost of energy, or to chill and relax, Lucy is made for your nicotine routine. If you want to try Lucy's tobacco-free breakers, pouches, or gum, go to lucy.com. co/Boyscast. Use the promo code Boyscast to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That is lucy.co and use the code Boyscast to get 20% off and always free shipping. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. Here's another good one. So we talk about Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
The very creepy tale of the ghost that haunted the Mamma Mia office.
Yeah.
So basically the girls that work at this blog have convinced themselves that their office is haunted.
Yeah.
People hear strange voices. New equipment would stop working. Doors would slam shut. So they'd buy like a new printer and then it would stop working.
Yeah,
I think they just probably had to plug it in.
All the chicks in Mamma Mia couldn't get the printer working. Ghost.
That's the funniest part. They think there's ghosts because they couldn't get the new equipment.
Nothing works. Clog the toilet with their fucking makeup wipes. They're like, it's a ghost.
Does anyone know how to work this drill? Fuck, the ghosts are at it again.
Fucking ghost.
It's just unplugged. Well, all the computers are broken. The circuit breaker just needs to be flipped.
They literally call like the Best Buy Geek Squad / Ghost Hunters. Like, we do a little bit of both.
That's so funny that you have a bunch of girls in an all-girl blogging office and they've convinced themselves.
I mean, based on the shit they crank out, that does kind of is on brand for them to think it's just ghosts.
According to my colleagues, the urban legend, the office was haunted by ghosts. And even since then, Mamma Mia's staff have had many unexplainable, eerie, and spooky experiences. I was thinking one of them would be that one of the girls are all fat, so they're just eating each other's food. It's like, who ate my muffin that I left in the counter? Like, the ghosts are back at it again. Everyone's eating each other's lunch because they're just walking in there, eating a little bit of someone's lunch and then wrapping it back up. Ooh,
spooky. Halloween must be a fun time.
You didn't finish your report on time. I know. The ghost definitely eating people's reports a little bit. It's left us wondering why we've been so susceptible to eerie encounters. Or do you think it actually is some ghosts and it's some bro ghosts that are fucking done with this shit?
Done with this thing. They've recently been killed by like some woman who poisoned them from reading Mamma Mia. So like my rest of my life, I'm haunting Mamma Mia.
I'm gonna go haunt female bloggers and just, what are you doing? Just like dicking around, just sort of turning.
You know what? I'll tell you, I'm doing a lot more than they are. Watching them work. Not a lot going on over at Mamma Mia.
Oh, and he comes back to the other ghost. I'm really fucking letting them have it. What are you gonna do? And he's like, I unplugged the printer for starters. Closed the door. That's one thing. They said one time the doors slammed shut at the same time, and that was one of their big pieces of evidence. It's probably ghosts.
Yeah.
The team. Stories of the ghosts that haunted the old office and the ghost encounters. They had ghosts at the old office and the new office. So the ghost followed them to the new office.
Over. He's got a bone to pick.
They have had since. Be warned, spooky stuff ahead. Brand new equipment would sometimes mysteriously stop working.
All right.
The lawnmower that was for our little patch of grass outside was just. The oil was always the gas was always empty.
Yeah, and the ghost also made all of our iPhone screens be cracked all the time.
The ghost was cracking their iPhone screens.
That definitely wasn't us.
One time, all the office doors slammed shut in perfect sequence. Do you think that's possible that their temper tantrums are syncing up?
Yeah, like the periods.
You put
the periods sync up.
You put them in an office for a long enough time, their temper tantrums, so they synced up there, and slamming the door.
Yeah. That was happened to be the day that they got rid of the kind bars for the office. Everybody slammed the door at once.
Have you seen the thing and it's happening in Canada where they're having like all these arguments about how they can get more tampons in the male bathrooms.
Oh, in like the military?
Well, that's the new thing. So basically the law was, because all this stuff's happening, and Justin Trudeau's entire thing right now is getting more tampons in male bathrooms.
Yeah.
And they all just sit there because probably don't need to explain to you why the tampons are just sitting there. But basically their new thing is every government organization
Has to have them, yeah.
right. So they did the new one is the military, and they went into every military thing, and then they're installing tampons in all the male bathrooms in the military.
Good stuff.
Yeah, they're really getting that country back.
I wonder if they are good at like cleaning up normal spills. I could see those just like some auto mechanic shop, and they're just fucking wiping their hands.
I could see that too, actually. Yeah. Definitely, this is an excuse for people not to work too. Or
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, well, I can't work today. The ghosts are
The ghosts, yeah.
one day we had a medium in the office, and she chased me through the halls.
A medium, probably more like a double XL. No one fucking. Oh Mia.
That's good stuff. A fat medium.
That is a medium.
The medium comes in. I'm gonna help you talk to your dead grandfather. I go, I don't know if mediums.
Yeah, medium's not really appropriate. The water was shaking when you walked in.
Let's call you a double XL. A medium. I bet your husband wishes you were a medium. And she said she had been debating telling me that something bad had happened, and she asked if I had anything new attached to my body. And after a back and forth, I told her I'd put hair extensions in, and she said that could have a bad presence attached to them, which could turn slightly unpleasant. So the medium, that's why the mediums, all those fortune tellers and the whimsical people, they really, it's kind of like how comedians have certain crowd work bits that would just work every time.
Yeah.
They basically, they go, is there anything attached to your body? It's like any girl who wears any sort of makeup would be like, I have blush on. You go, that'll be it. Yeah.
Well, we found it.
I told you there's the one fortune teller once that told the girl when I went to, because a fun date, I told you, it's going to the fortune teller sometimes.
Yeah.
But the guy said to the girl I was with that he thought that she was into animals. That's one of his bits. He tells girls here into animals, and the girl's like, this guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah, that maybe backfires one in, I don't know, 50,000 times.
0 girls have ever said, you've got the wrong guy. Hate fucking every
animal across the board.
Okay, so there's all these Instagram accounts where girls basically, it's like non-monogamy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is kind of lesbians being like, I'm dating a girl and we're non-monogamous, and here's why. It's kind of being like, here's how you deal with jealousy. A lot of it is like, I hate this, but this is why I'm wrong.
Right.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there's this one.
Copen.
Yeah, there's this one that I'm going to play right now. So this is an Instagram video she made.
So for a long time, I wanted to have a kid, and my partner wasn't sure he was ready. So I'd bring it up every now and then. How about now? How about now? How about now? Until one day I was just fed up with not knowing and decided I'm going to do this on my own. So I found a friend who was willing to be a sperm donor. I actually ended up meeting someone who wanted to co-parent with me. And I was really excited about the possibilities of having a child in this non-traditional way. And it was only through this process of me finding another way of doing it that my partner was able to look inside himself and see, hey, actually, I really want this too. And I know that.
Really?
And she
Really forced his hand there.
she kind of explains and she kind of goes on to explain she goes, this is the importance of taking the pressure off the guy. Actually, I should play that last part.
Oh, you don't want to have a kid? That's cool. That's fine. I'm just going to.
Yeah, let me play that last part because that's what she says.
It doesn't help to continue asking them if they're ready. Sometimes the key is taking the pressure completely off. Recognizing that their needs and desires and wants are different than.
Do you think that's what she did? Took the pressure completely off?
He goes, yeah, cool. You don't want to have a kid with me? That's fine. Like, I'm just going to go get some random dude's sperm and just, like, fucking have him crank one in me, and I'll have a kid. And then if you want to, help with it.
Oops, still playing. Yeah.
It's like, if you want to help with the kid, all good. If not, that's cool.
This is the
too.
ultimate. Then I'll just go on vacation by myself.
Totally. Yeah, well.
Fine. I'm going to Cuba by myself. Well, you don't want to go.
That guy goes, oh, you know what? Now that I had some time to think about it, I would love to have a child with you.
The guy she's
Totally arrived at that decision on my own.
the guy she's dating and potentially lives with. She goes, I already found the guy who's gonna put his
And we're
sperm
gonna
in
co-parent.
and
with
me
a,
and the
with
other
a dude
guy.
I don't know. We're just gonna each split this kid.
But me and you can still stay together. Well, you're not interested in the kid, you said, right?
If you want a kid, I don't know.
Well, if you're not interested, it will be my kid. Like, obviously, it'll be at our house probably most of the time.
Yeah,
but
at least half
it'll
of the time,
It'll be
but-
my kid, not your kid.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. That's like so many guys have
She
got,
took the pressure off him.
I mean, how many guys have gotten roped into like a dog, you know? Where,
Oh, exactly. It'll be my dog.
Yeah, she goes, it'll be my dog. You don't have to do anything. And then you're like,
Yeah,
all right.
okay. In what world? I was loving that so much. The idea of this girl being like, just completely took the pressure off. Just let him know that I'm just gonna have some other guy give me the sperm, raise the kid. He can just live. You know, we'll still be together. It won't have any effect on him.
Yeah. Good luck, pal.
Oh shit. Also, yeah. So. I guess a lot of people, I'll probably see you at the Toronto show, which is going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
But so
I got the next night at 10 p.m.
yeah, we're doing the next night. Danny's doing
Saturday,
his
yeah.
full headline show.
Yeah.
In Toronto at where is it?
Backroom Comedy Club, 10 p.m. Just go to Linktree.
And it's Danny and friends, so a bunch of good comedians.
Linktree / Danny jokes. Just one show, 10 p.m. I just added it kind of last minute. So if you're in town, if you don't unable to make it to the Friday show or whatever, come out Saturday night.
Yeah, come out Saturday night, and I'm going to try to drop by and do a spot on that as well. So it'll be like it'll be a lot of the Toronto boys.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah, so definitely do that. And then next stop, well, you know what? We should announce this, but we have a special guest that will be announced.
George Santos.
That will be joining me on a European tour, and that special guest is Danny Polishuk. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny will be coming the whole tour.
Yeah. I'll be coming the whole thing.
He's going to be coming everywhere.
I've been coming everywhere.
So we can probably do some filming and stuff like that while we're there.
Oh, yeah, we're going to go find those, what are those?
We're bringing
the
a guy
beef eaters?
filming with us. What's the beef eaters?
The dudes who they stand like this instead of the London, like their palace. You know, they got the big hats, and then they can't move.
I don't know this. Oh,
what are you talking about? The guys who can't move?
the guards.
The guards, yeah.
They're called beef eaters?
Yeah, and there's the rum, or the gin, sorry, beef eater gin.
I don't know any of this
And then
shit.
you go around and you go, ah! And then you just gotta go. And you go like, I'm not touching you, not touching you, not touching you. And you just gotta be like,
Do the Gaydar test on him.
yeah, grab a laptop and just play hardcore gay porn. Let's see those pupils.
Yeah, check out the
Dilate.
But yeah, so Danny's coming. It'll be a fucking banger, dude. We have Dublin. Dublin's almost sold out. London, we added more shows. Antwerp, Amsterdam, we added another show. Copenhagen, Oslo, Stockholm, PerrysBurg. And then it's Columbus, Dallas, Baltimore, Calgary, Boston, Winnipeg, San Diego, Atlanta, and also...
I've never been to Scandinavia. Have you
I don't know where any of these places are, dude.
Have you ever been to Scandinavia?
People keep saying in the tour, like, you pumped to go to this country? I go, am I going to that
I
country?
mean,
don't
we're
know.
spending no time in any of those places.
We're spending a bit of time in London, Dublin. We're there for 2 days in Dublin. so-
yeah, exactly. But other than that, not really.
Other than that, not really.
Like Sweden or whatever, Stockholm for half a day.
Girl entrepreneur alert.
Uh-oh.
So we have an alert.
Hide your wallets, boys. This ain't gonna be cheap.
So sometimes you might see people on the internet telling you about their entrepreneurial ideas, which may be starting an app. It might be, kind of a hustle and grind culture.
Yep.
Starting a beer. You might start a workout consultation service.
Yeah.
There's some other ideas that you might do too.
Sure.
You might do my really good idea that no one ever wants to do, even though it's a really good idea, and that's the ice cream cone with more ice cream cone to catch the drip.
That's a good idea.
It's my best idea yet. No one wants to do it.
Yeah. It's too bad.
It's one of my ideas. No one's yet to come up to me with a proposal, but I do want to go in the ice cream cone
The
business.
ice cream cone business.
Another one, do the Ali G style, a glove for eating popcorn. So you don't get the butter on your hands. He has the glove for eating ice cream. But no, my idea is actually good because the ice cream always drips all over your hand, and then you have another ridge underneath that catches the drippage. That's
basically
made of
a
cone.
bigger cone, but
It's a two ridged cone.
Yeah, it's a 2-ridge cone. Yeah,
It's like a visor that goes and catches all the ice cream.
yeah. I think they have that.
Those are my main
I think
ideas.
they have that, but not made out of cone. They have that, but it's paper.
I think I might have seen the paper one. Something that sort of looks like the thing to put on the dog's neck.
Yeah, exactly. It's
You don't want the paper thing. You want it made out of
you want
cone.
the cone.
If anyone wants to come to me a prototype, let's go into business.
Yeah.
If any of our,
I mean, essentially,
if any of the
it would
Boyscast
be-
listeners work in the ice cream cone
Well, it would
industry.
be a cone. It would just be like exactly like a dog cone, and then you just slide it, and it tapers, right? Because the ice cream cone tapers, so eventually it would just lodge, and then there you have it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the girl.
Maybe the question is, it's too much of a mess to eat at that point, though.
Well, that's all. It's preventing the mess. You don't fucking throw shade on my idea. It's the opposite of what that is.
Yeah, but what happens once you get, because it's collecting though, and then how do you eat out of the ice cream?
You eat it after your ice cream's all gone.
Oh, so you're saying it'll be at the very bottom?
No, it'll be near the top, like a centimeter down. 2 of your D's.
I just eat my ice cream fast enough.
You never seen a drip.
temperature.
Well, you don't have drip like me.
No, I just take a temperature and I go, it's kind of hot outside, kind of humid. I have 8 seconds to eat this before.
So, but that's, those are the ideas that I'm coming up with. Option 2, I use my pretty privilege to make strangers buy me things, and no one says no to me. So it's. This girl's got a new side hustle. Ladies, if you're looking for a
New
side hustle,
just dropped.
have you considered begging for stuff on the streets
Flirting with random men.
in order to get them, making a man think that you might have sex with them? If you can, and then convince him to buy you an iPhone cover.
As she's telling this, she's writing this thing, I go, just tell me your OnlyFans thing.
What's your OnlyFans?
What's your OnlyFans? All right.
20-something Layla Lazelle regularly shares her success stories on the platform, posting videos of herself approaching men on the street and requesting designer bags, perfume, and even an iPhone. You got to be some type of chump to be doing that, eh?
Be like, I need a new iPhone.
Buddy, I'll tell you what the real chump thing is. I don't know the type of guys she's getting, but she's getting these chumps. They're buying her stuff. Can you imagine being like the chump of the millennium? Some girl friggin' comes up to you, is just like, oh, excuse me. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, you mind buying me an iPhone? And you go, and then you buy it. Afterwards, she goes, all right, see you later. Can I have your number? No. You feel like the chump of the year, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm a fucking moron.
Insane.
And then next day, it's going viral on TikTok. You buying her that shit?
You got to do what that meme or whatever. I think I've said it before, but it's so funny. Some guy was trying to buy a baseball card, and the guy's like, they're negotiating online. The guy goes, take like, he was asking like $1,000. The guy's like, take $50 for it. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, come meet me at this place. Or whatever.
Sure.
And then the guy texts him. He's like, is this the right place? I'm outside of a comedy club. And the guy goes, yeah, go up on stage and tell your jokes to somebody else. As you chicks go, can you buy me an iPhone? You go, yeah, just meet me over here. I was waiting for you. She goes, at the comedy club? You go, yeah, go up on stage.
Here's the question. After the guys buy her the iPhone or the Chanel purse or all the things, does she say, God bless you, sir?
What's the greatest nation in the world? Donation.
God bless you,
God
sir.
bless you, sir.
Oh, God bless you, sir.
bless you, sir.
She should at least have to say, God bless you, sir, after her begging. So she's sort of like a high-end beggar.
There's more to this, because one, I don't even know how much I believe this, but
You think it might be some fakes? No, guys are suckers.
guys
dude.
are suckers. But what is she offering? Even the suckers.
She's
the
offering
suckers,
basically the promise of potential poontang in the future, obviously.
But it's like, do you even get a date? I feel like you have to at least get a date first and then bag second, or
apparently
or
not.
at least a guarantee or just like making of a date. You don't even have
Let's
to.
just sign this contract that'll allow me one sex session. You're saying, yeah, she doesn't.
She'd be like, hey, you want to go on a date? You go, yeah, I'll bring you a bag when we like meet at the
Well,
restaurant.
Daniel, a kiss is not a contract, though it's very nice. It's very, very nice. So she's been making a career out of this.
Yeah.
Begging. It's
begging.
new hot technique. I will show you for $10 a month. I will show you how to beg for change.
Is this closer to being
And
a
then
con
you show
man?
5 other people to beg for change. 10% funnels up to you.
Doesn't sound too bad. Is this closer to being a con man?
No, it's closer to being a beggar.
You think so?
I think.
But she's picking marks out though, right? Because she's approaching them. She's not like sitting there with a cup and everybody's walking by her.
Well, that's
She
beggars
sees-
probably ask different people.
That's
They see a
true.
guy not flying in the wind. They know they got a mark.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess
She's just operating on. She's begging on a higher scale, right?
yeah.
She's like like the high class prostitutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I only do one guy a night, and it's $5,000. Basically,
Good for them.
yeah, basically one above CEO. Well, obviously, to me, the funny thing about it's funny this, she goes, London-based looker has scored Marc Jacobs purse, Chanel fragrance, coffee, food, mocktails, skincare.
Mocktails.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a typo or what's a mocktail.
It's a cocktail with no alcohol in it.
So she got a free mocktail?
She got a juice. Just the juice.
Ooh la la. Someone's eating tonight. She got free juice.
Like a Diet Coke. That's a mocktail.
I use charm, charisma, and Riz to persuade guys to buy me
Riz.
things. Yeah, obviously you're using the fact that they might bone you.
yeah.
But to me, the good thing is like she's telling other girls to do this, and it's like, you better be super hot. It's like the other girl being like, that does seem like a good idea. For
Hey, want to buy me some Popeye's chicken?
you have to no. Obviously, if you're not hot, you got to start a little lower, right? Yeah. So you go, well, the Chanel purse didn't work. It's like, okay, well, I asked a guy to buy me a Chanel purse. That didn't work. Went down. I go, how about an iPhone? Nothing on that. How about a BlackBerry? All right, still fucking shooting blanks over here. Asked the guy to buy me a juice. No on the juice, huh? Can I have change? Change. Excuse me, sir. Can I just have some money? My kids are starving to death. I have not. And then you find yourself, you watch this one TikTok video. You're a girl that's not hot, and you're just like, I could be a beggar. Cut to 4 years later, you just walking onto the subway. My name is Suzanne Johnson. I have 19 kids.
I am a veteran.
I'm a veteran, and I just need. They used to have better. The old scams was I need money to get. I'm trapped in New York. I need a bus ticket to get back. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that one. Actually, someone hit me with that.
Whoa!
one.
God bless you, sir.
Someone did hit me with that recently.
You got hit with it?
With the bus ticket, yeah.
So it's still it's a oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. No, here in New York, they're just more aggressive. They're just like, give me some money. Okay. Very forward.
This one says, I haven't found anyone to say no to me yet, but if you don't ask, you don't get.
That's a lie.
But that can't be true that she
You're
found
not
no
batting
one.
1,000.
Did you see
of
Will
just walking up to random people?
Definitely. Well, on the topic of the Gen Zers, this other girl, she's got a bit of a accidentally for boys move. She goes, this Gen Zer says she'll only have a baby if her partner pays $315K a year, and she has this big contract she's looking for. Yeah, she's done the math. 23-year-old influencer says she won't sacrifice her body for a baby unless she gets $350K annually for therapy, a personal trainer, baby needs, and she's given a birthday present and a mommy makeover. So if you were a guy dating a girl, wasn't that interested in kids, you're literally just like, still working on that 315. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, no, I want to have the kid.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But you deserve everything that you want.
This chick would be a
And honestly, I asked my boss at the plant if he could.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to keep you on the pill. Can't afford. I can't afford to get you pregnant, and you obviously don't want to be pregnant.
And believe you me, I would love that. I went up to my foreman and I said, I'm gonna need 315 extra K, and he said it's coming. It is coming.
He goes, yeah, I guess got to do a little extra overtime, but they're just the plant's falling on hard times. So.
The 315K is on its way. Do not you worry. So we'll just keep banging with the pill for the meantime. I'd never put my body through having a kid for free. Beside the 315, she has some other non-negotiables that include a housekeeper for the first 6 months after the baby is born. This is just like she's like
Shohei Ohtani. She's like
sort of like a 20-year-old guy just being like, I want 10 out of 10. Weights on me hand and foot.
Yeah.
Zero body count.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, well, this is what I need.
She's always looking hot. Dinner, every meal's prepared for me, and I won't settle for anything less.
It's so insane because it's just like, if this is actually you, and she is pretty hot, but I would definitely just keep this to yourself. I just don't like unless you think you're gonna find your new
I think it wasn't working, right? So I think she's now has to cast a little bit of a wider net, right? Did you see Will Smith has a new girlfriend?
Yeah, who looks exactly like Jada Pinkett Smith. He's damaged goods, man.
I was fucking dying that he has a new bald girlfriend.
Looks exactly like her.
Well, he's proving that he's not gay.
I guess by dating a bald chick.
No, I want to do a sketch about this, but I'll tell you, or just maybe like a news story, but this is my theory. So people were saying Will Smith's gay, right? Mm-hmm. And this is his rebuttal to that, is he saying, well, if you think about it, when a girl is bald, you can see her scalp, so you're actually seeing 5% more women. Whereas when you're dating a girl with hair, you're being deprived of seeing the full woman head to toe.
What do you like?
Whereas Will Smith with guys, more hair the better, because I'm seeing less dude. That's how straight he is.
That is pretty straight. Yeah.
Well, he's like, what, you're saying you want to cover up more of the woman's skin? A little gay of me.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
It's like a burqa.
You wanted to wear a friggin' Eskimo suit? Gay.
Interesting.
Will Smith, like,
interesting strategy,
Big Willie
Will.
style, likes to see every part of the woman.
Likes his chicks to look like Kojak.
Well, hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. I like a naked woman, and that includes no hair covering up the skin either.
That's a good point.
What do you want? Your girl covered in hair?
A burqa, ideally.
So, Danny, he likes a bald woman. What do you? You like a hairy woman, I guess?
Yes.
That's the alternative.
On the head area. Sure.
The alternative is you like a hairy woman.
Do you think this chick's met Jada Pinkett Smith? Because they have like some weird relationship where probably Jada like sees this photo. She goes, I'd love to meet her.
She probably would do that, yeah.
You know, she's like, oh, I'd love to meet her. And then she probably makes her like her best friend and then has her break up with Will. And then she goes,
we're such good friends. We
Will,
just had a
did you think you were actually going to win this one?
Yeah, me and your new girlfriend just had a threesome with Jaden's friend again. That's how much of a happy family we are. By the way, if you want to call in to Red Diaries or whatever, I'm going to be doing a 4-hour-long presentation about all the positions we did. Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. You thought that that was just going to be a win for Will?
Poor guy.
Listen, Will, you're a fucking L factory, and don't forget that. You're never going to win. You never will win.
How could Will Smith be an L factory? What happened?
A woman.
I got the good point.
Jada Pinkett, bitch.
Bald ass bitch.
Well, I don't know. There's one quick thing, but actually, there's two different parts. But on the topic of religion, a pastor turned to OnlyFans. A former model turned pastor in Brazil is going back to her scantily clad roots, but she said she now feels closer to God than ever.
Yeah.
OnlyFans pastor, ladies and gentlemen. So you basically get a confession and tug is what happens there. That's so funny.
You go into that confessional booth, it's a lot of racket going on in there.
Christians are just getting beat down, man. You know what I was thinking, though? Because you know how Andrew Tate always says that, like, Muslim's the only real religion because it's the one you can't talk shit about and people are afraid of?
Yeah.
But you also have to say the countries that has more Muslim people.
Douglas Murray does it nonstop.
But that's what I'm saying. The people that the places that you really can't talk about Muslim people the most, they don't have free speech, right?
Yeah.
And then the places like the Western world is just like creams over minorities, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's because Western world creams over minorities so much. But really, like, if the Muslims was the main religion here, unless America like completely changed into they changed all the laws and everything, I'd be talking shit about it just the same amount I am now.
Yeah, well, the problem for you is
Or more.
There's a lot of people who are listening to this right now, and they're like, yeah, and it's gonna be.
I guess you're right, but they'd have to literally change the Constitution, so that would just be like a war at that point.
Yeah, that'll be.
And it is possible, but like people say that, oh, you can talk shit about more about Christian, but it's like, yeah, in the Western world where you're allowed to say your opinions.
Yeah, you can talk shit about anybody here.
And the reason, and then they go, well, you can talk less shit about
Except
Muslims
the
here,
Jews.
and it was like, well, yeah, but that's because they're just getting creamed over because they're minorities. It's not because their religion's more respected.
Yeah, no, but yeah, and I'm sure majority Middle Eastern countries, you do not want to be talking shit, but also
White people just love other people's cultures.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just
and
what
we are
it
a
is.
little more accepting over in the West of other people's things.
Yeah, exactly, right? So the pastor turned to OnlyFans is funny. And then there's a late rabbi that sold his socks for $18K a day.
Yeah, he's the guy who started 18K. Yeah. He
18K on eBay. Sorry.
Yeah, on eBay. Yeah, he died in the 70s or something. He's like the guy who started the Satmar in Brooklyn here. They're like this.
Still making money.
They're the crazy sect of they're the ones who wear the wild hats. You know, they look like lamps.
Well, if you're interested in the socks, good condition, some stains.
You want them with stains though. That's like if you buy like a Mickey Mantle game used jersey, you don't want this thing to look like it just came out of the washing machine.
That's true.
Yeah,
You're
you
right.
want it all stained up. Did you see Trump? He's selling? He's doing like an NFT drop that he announced yesterday, and there's.
I feel like NFT drops are sort of passe a little bit.
Yeah, but so he's doing 47. I mean, the thing is that he just has so many people who are into his shit where he'll find someone, but it's 47 of them, which are $100 each. So it's like $4,700 for all of them. I think it's just like campaign money raising or whatever.
Yeah.
But then if you buy them all, then you get and he has like all these, like, they're all mugshot cards. I think they're all like mugshot of his mugshot. And then if you buy them all, so you drop $4,700, then you'll get one card, and it's like a piece of the suit he wore when he took the mugshot. It's like, because like if people have no cards, they'll have like these game used jersey cards or whatever. So it's like a mugshot worn suit card, and it's a piece of the suit, and they cut it all up.
Should we get a mugshot worn suit? Well, we don't want to buy.
You gotta
all
spend
of them.
$5,000.
No, we're not doing that.
Insane.
That's hilarious.
And then you can win a trip to Mar-a-Lago and have dinner with him.
Okay. Oh, you wouldn't win one.
Yeah, I don't think it comes with it. Can't be.
Okay, and then a cop was busted for beating up a sex shop clerk, and he was pissed that the clerk was encouraging his wife to get big dildos.
Yeah, he goes, where are the micro D's section?
Go into the sex shop with your wife, and then her get like cruising over into the fucking massive dong section.
He's like, you said you just needed lube.
Exactly. You could see why that would make someone. And the cops. So the sheriff's commander, David DeWitt, took his wife shopping for a sex toy. According to the arrest, DeWitt grew enraged when the missus picked up a few items that were bigger than him. That's so funny.
That's so funny.
Would you be pissed off if you went to the sex shop with your girl and she picked up a pen cap?
Put that down.
That fucking stinks.
That's so funny. I mean, what did you think? I don't know. It'd even be weirder though if she's like, so you're just gonna get the 1-incher, and he goes, yeah, he has a rule, nothing bigger than him. So
the clerk told DeWitt his wife didn't need fake penises that put him to shame. That's embarrassing to be saying that shit out loud.
Like,
are you trying to make me feel like not a man?
Yeah, that's like what a crazy thing to do in public.
And then and he's a cop too.
Yeah.
It's also like stereotypical cop energy is what they would say. They all have that like
little dick energy.
That's what you would say. Mm-hmm. And allegedly raised his hand as if to backhand her. The clerk says he stepped in between them at one point and asked him to leave the store. She can stay. But he barked back, "Fuck you, I'm a cop." So this is almost like a sketch.
Yeah, this is insane. Anyways.
Going to the sex shop with your wife can definitely have bad ramifications if you end up that.
I mean, I think
Excuse me, where are the big black ones? The Punisher section? Honey, why are you wandering into the Punisher section?
Yeah, you think you would have some sort of conversation before you went about...
Oh, can we get the Shaq model here? Although some people said Shaq wasn't packing. There's girls that go up and they say they smashed Shaq and they weren't happy with the piece.
Really?
Oh, it could have been. If
You would
Shaq
think
is an 8-incher, it looks small.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. You think regardless, just based on that frame size,
I don't know. That's not
something going on there.
People say.
Yeah.
The people have been saying.
People have been saying.
I feel like that's just like a thing that girls all do, though. That when they're trying to hit a basketball player, they'll just be like, he has a small rod.
Yeah.
You can hit an athlete pretty hard on that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The clerk, the violence allegedly broke out when DeWitt and his wife were checking out. So we don't know what she was checking out at this point. I guess she was checking out like something tiny little vibrator. You know what I mean? And the same clerk asked if they wanted to buy any batteries for their new device. That's when DeWitt allegedly said, "What the fuck did you say to me, fat boy?"
What? Just because as if you wanted batteries?
He doesn't want to be put to
I
shame.
go all night, dude. I don't need no fucking batteries.
He did not want to be put to shame. So this guy was not happy with his wife. This is real Jersey Shore type energy. The clerk said he told DeWitt to get out of his face, and that's when DeWitt jumped behind the counter and repeatedly punched him in the face and the ribs, tossed a bunch of merchandise around the store. So he had a real temper tantrum, throwing dildos everywhere.
I mean, the move is you grab the biggest dildo possible, and then you start beating the guy with
it
the
has
dildo.
to be. You have to
That's
be
the
with the
move.
dildo.
Yeah.
And then left in a convertible Bentley.
Bentley?
This is TMZ too, so it actually happened. Not that TMZ's always right, but
No,
it wasn't
but-
just out of nowhere. It was
Yeah.
like reporters saw it, or I don't know how they get their information.
That's
but
wild.
TMZ is at least usually somewhat accurate.
Yeah, I think they're actually fairly reliable.
I'll tell you what, they're not just completely made up out of
no,
thin
no,
air.
they're not. No.
Calling him fat boy is so funny, but
Fuck.
Lil Nas X is also in his Christian era, speaking of. And he's
Yeah, he just likes fucking
causing
getting-
trouble. Yeah, and they
getting
fall
people
for it every
worked.
time.
Yeah, they fall for it every time, getting people worked up.
The right wing section of the internet, maybe not right wing, the conservative section of the internet has really started to fall for their old ways of going back to
Again,
being clutching pearls. You know,
Uh-huh.
like even like like libs of TikTok.
Yeah.
they're posting like. Can you believe in this video game? You can.
Yeah, I know. There
shoot
was like
Jews.
some Hamas video game. You go, can you believe it?
And they're just kind of like, we need to shut down the video games. Video games are causing people to be violent and all those same old tricks.
Yep.
And it was just like, well, I mean, we've said that for a while. It eventually just goes back to,
You go back. You find it's everything regresses to the mean.
well, it's the people that have a propensity to be hall monitors will find a political movement to be hall monitors. Of
course.
The problem with the one the last 6 years was it was promoted by every big institution. So that's what made it worse. That was gasoline on the fire.
Yeah.
But there's probably 20% of people, dangerous people, that have a propensity to want to tell people what to do.
Yep. Cancel people. Shut them down.
And we have a bunch more stuff. Follow us on the Patreon. We're going to probably do some vlogs on there on our European tour. But most importantly, we are actually the closest we've ever been to doing our new
Yes.
half-hour
And we want to
competition.
eat these wieners.
And also, you can go watch the last one too. And,
Yeah, you
and
can
more.
watch the last one, which is
and
awesome.
there's now like hundreds of hours of content on our Patreon.
Yeah.
So appreciate everyone
And
who
we
has
just
signed
want
up.
to eat the wieners.
And we're gonna eat the wieners.
We're going to eat the wieners.
Patreon.com/theboyscast. Thank you. Peace.